This is the story of a man named Stanley. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
Ahora vamos a hacer lo mismo, pero apagando la wea.
Left, stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Patos.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the
Tenía
large
el pico
door that
grande.
read Mind Control Facility.
Uno siempre el otro macho. Ah.
The lights rose
No lo
on
sabía,
an enormous
perdón.
room, yet that everything would be fine.
¿Y quién lo tiene más grande, Mila, la hembra o el macho?
In the first
Estoy
place,
hablando del pico, pues, Mila.
these questions raced furiously in
Sigue sonando igual de raro.
Stanley's mind. No! He screamed into the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Ahora
As
lo vamos a
the
apagar.
cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that
¿Cambiará al final por estar con el balde? No lo sé. Lo averiguaremos.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
Oh. Hay una puerta.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An
Verga.
unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty.
No voy a poder ir con el
Until
balde.
finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
¡No!
City itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the
No,
bucket,
balde,
needed
no
the
vamos a
soothing
poder ir.
warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Me voy a morir, men. Ya. Ahora. Espérate. Hola.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Me mandaron muchas cardboard.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't
Nunca he ido
5
para ese
years
lado.
ago.
Y aquí me quedó una puerta que no revisé la última vez.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Voy a
I
revisar la puerta
realize
de
that
acá.
investing your trust in someone else can be difficult,
Me
but the
acuerdo
fact
que,
is that the
según la
story
edición,
has
fue
been
la
about
puerta que te
nothing
mandaba
but you all this time.
este weón.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've...
What? Really?
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of
Dice
this,
que no
but
pueden
I
pasarse.
really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
¿Por cuál entro? ¿Cuál entré en la última wea que editaste? Mira, por la azul o por la roja.
You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. Do you see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see.
No, sí había visto esta
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better?
Creo
What
que
did you
entré.
want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Aquí donde llega la wea del Rocket
There we
League
go.
parece.
A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail.
Dejamos
It's a
que se
very
queme o lo
meaningful
salvamos.
game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take
Que
notice.
se muera,
But
okay.
of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Que se queme los culiados que lo quieren matar. Adiós, bebé.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. Stanley knew the office layout like the back
Mira,
of
ahí
his
está la
hand.
caja que pedí.
It was only a matter of time before he found
Aquí
the
está la
others,
caja.
wherever they were. Just a matter of time. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Once again
¿Cuál era el código,
stunned
weón?
to discover not an indication of any human life.
2845.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer mind control. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
¿Qué tal, Tristan? ¿Cómo estás?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
A ver, ¿qué dice? ¿Ahora ha cambiado esta weá? Se encuentra ante precipicio de conocimiento, al igual que un balde, la mente humana se pasea por como una caverna, pero gracias a la exposición que tiene enfrente, la mente se llena de esa riqueza, se exalta el conocimiento del balde y su historia es el único conocimiento que tiene. Ya, no me interesa.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket
baldes,
like this
25
and to
baldes.
claim it for his own? Can you
Solo
see the
25
hubris
baldes.
that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than
Cambió
Stanley will
esta weá
ever be in
completa.
his short life?
Cambió completamente el museo por venir con el balde. Balde infernal. Estoy dando indican a cagar. Balde entre 3. Mira el balde, weón. Está de la prehistoria. Arte rupestre. Si bien sabemos que los baldes son anteriores a la aparición del ser humano, no tenemos idea de cuánto tiempo antes surgieron. Esta ilustración rupestre se ve como nuestros ancestros descubrieron los usos prácticos del balde. Para entonces es probable que los baldes llevaran varios milenios en el planeta. El antecesor del
No
mundo.
man can
El
own a
balde.
bucket,
Oye, el balde.
and
Ya no lo
certainly not a
tengo.
bucket as dazzling to behold as
No me había
this
fijado.
one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
El balde gigante. Ah, colgante. Esta obra simboliza la relación entre el balde y la humanidad. Ah, yo quería saltar. ¿Salté? ¿Me caí?
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We
Okay.
can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision for...